This episode has to be the longest I have worked on an episode. Back from when we were the torch and the whole new rebranding as Talk It Out, but we'll get into that. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the show. I am your host, Ushindi, and you're listening to Talk It Out podcast with Ushindi. So, what's the talk? What's the chat? Let's dive in. So, a month ago, uh, almost 2 months ago, something happened on social media. And when I say social media, specifically, I'm talking about TikTok. Now, I'm not on TikTok, but this got my attention. It came to me. And I don't know how that happens, but I guess since we all live in the Matrix, things always find us. I think the algorithm always talk to each other. Algorithm. Jesus, I think I'm glitching right now. But I think the algorithm talks to each other, and somehow content always finds you wherever you are. It doesn't matter which platforms you're using. It doesn't matter which ones you don't use. I think content always finds you. So something happened on TikTok, and as usual, when something goes viral, it might split the internet. It might divide people, and people end up on a different side of the spectrum or the conversation or whatever is happening. So something happened and it went viral. I think TikTok is the app for things to go viral. I think they should change the name to the viral app. I don't even know what that is. It sounds catchy though. The viral app, where anything is possible. No? Quite catchy. I think I'm getting creative here. But hey, let's get back to the point. So what happened is that Mia Khalifa posted something on her TikTok, and she was giving marital advice to young women. For those who might not know who Mia Khalifa is, she's a former adult star, and they say she retired pretty early on in the business. Now she does OnlyFans, which I don't know how all this works, but whatever. I'm no expert in that field, and I'm not going to try to dive into that. But she's a former adult star, currently a model and an influencer. So basically, what she did on TikTok was supposed to go viral because, I mean, every influencer goes viral once in a while, right? But back to the point, what Mia Khalifa posted on her TikTok had a lot of people's attention, and as usual, people were divided about it. So briefly, here's what I mean. The TikTok video was long, but there is a part that caught everyone's attention, and there is a part that caught my attention. It's not why we're having this conversation today. We'll get into that later, but I just wanted to give you the basic background of why we're having this talk today. So, in her TikTok video, and especially something that caught everyone's attention was when she said in her video that marriage is not a sanctimonious thing; it's a paperwork. It is a commitment you make to someone, but if you feel like you're not getting anything from that commitment and you're trying, you get to go. You get to go. You have to go. Now, this part here, this was the part that blew, that shattered the walls on the internet or whatever it is. Now, this was supposed to be a marital advice to young girls out there, and people pointed out her track record recently and why they felt like she shouldn't be the one to give marital advice to young women and young girls out there, because she was married at 18 and divorced at 21, and a second marriage she was married at 25 and divorced at 28, and then the third she had an engagement. She was engaged at 29 and ended it at 30, but she kept the ring. and that's I don't know. Like I said, I'm no expert, so we're just gonna be jumping over a lot of things in this talk. Okay, people, let's just move on. So what caught my attention, unlike a lot of people who whose attention was called because, oh my god, Mia Khalifa is trying to give marital advice to young women, and is she really qualified? Is she the kind of person to give this kind of advice to women? Apart from all that, what caught my attention was quite different and really far from Mia Khalifa and what she said, because this person who caught my attention uh, put it in a way that it involved me, and that's what's most interesting about all this. Mia Khalifa, I really don't, like I said, I am not an expert in this field. I don't know who she is. I don't know what she does, what she used to do. Maybe what she used to do. I'll be lying if I said I don't know what she used to do. I mean, who doesn't? That's a topic for another day. Seriously. But what caught my attention with all this was that I saw a reel on Instagram. We call them reels for those on TikTok. On Instagram, we call them reels. On TikTok, they're called, what are they called? TikToks, I guess. I mean, it's a TikTok app. And on X, formerly known as Twitter, I don't even know if we have this, but I think we do. I just don't know what they're called. I'm on Twitter a lot. I tweet a lot, but I won't say that. That's another topic for another day. Jesus. But people, back to the point. So a lot of people were pissed. A lot of people were angry that Mia Khalifa is giving this kind of advice to young women. From her track record, she shouldn't be the one to be giving advice. And some people were like, "Oh, unbelievable! Like you, the audacity to say something like this." You know, a lot of people were so against it that Mia Khalifa, a person like Mia Khalifa, is trying to give marital advice, and people, how did we even get here? I don't think it should be about now. People are going to hate me for this, but if someone is passing out a message, and it's a legit message, like young people want to say these days, legit. If something is legit, if a message is legit, I think let's take the message and let the person be. You know, I hope. I don't know if this will ever happen, but if someone like Donald Trump, I mean, Donald Trump is one of the people that a lot of people might be hating out there. Well, unless you're, I don't know, people. I don't want to get cancelled, so I'm gonna be avoiding to say a lot tonight uh, on this episode. It's a very controversial one. If you're listening to me right now, you understand that I'm trying to refrain from saying a lot of things. It's a very controversial topic from a very controversial figure in our society today, you know, and she has a very huge influence from saying this. And as much as unbelievable that might sound, it's true. A lot of people were applauding her for saying what she said, and a lot of people were still against what she was saying. And they were not against it in a way that they think it's wrong what she's saying. They're against it because of who she used to be or who she is. That's what they're against. And like I said, maybe let's just forget who the person is or who they used to be and just take the message. You know, it doesn't harm to just take the message and be like, oh, that's a pretty good point. You know, despite everything else, it's really something interesting to point out. You know, so I think it's quite interesting that people were pissed, you know, from her saying all this, and then there are some people who were like, yeah, that's quite good. Thanks for saying that, Mia Khalifa. You know, I don't know where I fall because of, you know, this is all still going. So let's get to it. Uh, so what caught my attention was this reel that I saw on Instagram where this influencer said It's very hypocritical that we encourage young women to get out of toxic relationships, and try to find peace for themselves and peace of mind and all this, and we're okay with anyone else saying it, but when Mia Khalifa says it, it's all of a sudden something different. Oh, she's not qualified. Oh, how can she? How dare you, Mia Khalifa? You're not the one to say something like this. You're the one who advises young women out there. And that was quite interesting for me, because when I was reading the article about the story of Mia Khalifa and I saw the TikTok video, to me, what came to my mind was, why isn't this a general relationship advice, marital advice? Like, why is it focusing on the girls? And this is what we have to talk about today, folks. I think it's a bit unfair that we preach how we want equality amongst all the genders out there. Now, there is a part I'm not going to point out, or there are a group of people I'm not going to talk for because I really don't know what happens there, how they handle their relationships. So I'm going to refrain myself from speaking for them, and I hope someone speaks for them. But today I just want to focus on the relationship where it's a male and a female. I love the LGBTQ community. I have a lot of respect for everyone, and I have a lot of love for everyone. I just don't think I am the right person to speak for them. And if I can, in a way, I'm going to do that. Okay? But I just want to focus on one type of relationship. Very often, I've seen this a lot. I'm pretty sure you have seen it a lot. Young women are encouraged to get out of a toxic relationship, get away from a toxic partner. But we don't see the same happen for men or boys out there, or young men. What's the difference? Men, boys, and young men. When are you a young man, and when are you a man, and when are you just a boy? I don't know. Somebody help. But we don't see this. And this is what caught my attention. Because when this influencer posted her reel, it was all of a sudden about, oh yeah, men, boys, young men are always at fault when something wrong goes in a relationship. When something bad happens in a relationship, a woman is having a terrible time in the relationship, it's always a boy's fault. And then I had this question. It was nagging. I was scratching my head. I was scratching the back of my brain, trying to figure out why this can't just be a marital advice for everyone else. Like, why is the focus just the girls? Like, are you really telling me that men are the devil in every relationship story? Like, is that the case here? But then something came to my attention. Men have stayed in toxic relationships and are always in toxic relationships, and they haven't been able to talk about it. And that is disturbing, folks. It's a level of hypocrisy, in my opinion, that is existing today, and it's just disgusting, to say the least. It's really unfair that we're doing all this work. Not me. I don't know how much I'm contributing to gender equality. I don't know. So I'm not gonna take any praise for whatever is happening in the world with gender equality. But I know that there are people out there who are fighting, to end whatever is splitting a man to a woman from sitting on the same table, speaking the same words, saying the same words, and having the same impact on the world. I really appreciate the work everyone is doing out there. But back to the point, I think it's a bit unfair that with all the work that is being done out there for gender equality, somehow we're building a world where one gender is eventually going to step upon the other and we're going to start another gender equality war in the next few years. And I don't know which gender is going to be fighting for equality this time. We'll see. Maybe I won't even be alive to see that. But who knows? Immortality, I guess. But so it caught my attention because another thing this person mentioned in her reel on Instagram was that this is a trend in Africa where if you're young and you divorce, you bring shame to your family. Now, I don't know where in Africa. As an African, I'm going to try and defend my people as much as I can because I'm pretty sure that we as a continent are evolving from the things that we used to do. Today, it's becoming less and less, and that's a good thing. So as much as I would want to believe that this is still something that happens so often on the African continent, I have a side of me that is disagreeing. And I feel like that is something to celebrate, that we're moving from the things that our fathers and our mothers used to do. And we're getting to a place where, things are better. Things are getting much better. So, why I felt like this was supposed to be marital advice for everyone was that it's unfair. I'm going to use the word unfair very often because I feel like it's just the only word that everyone else can relate to. Every single battle that is happening out there, the the one thing every battle has is unfair. That's the one thing we all have in common. Unfair. Unfairness happening to everyone else, whether you're a man, whether you're a woman, a trans or a bi, a gay, lesbian, whatever it is. We all have a level of unfairness that is happening to us, and it's not cool, you know? So I looked at it in a way where, fine, girls are being advised to leave marriages and be happy, be there for yourself, you deserve better. But who is telling this to the boys? Who is telling this to the young men out there who, at the end of the day, the society is expecting you to be a boy, to be a man? Man up, chin up, you know? You're a man, you gotta go through this. Recently, something happened in my family, and when I was talking to some of my elders, he laughed at me, and all he said was, "But you're a man. You have to take it. You have to take all this in. You have to chin up. You have to man up." Now, I can understand someone as old as that telling me that. I understand that because where they're from, things were supposed to be like that. If you're a man, you're a man. Everyone expects you to be a man. It doesn't matter what the hell is happening in your life, you're expected to be a man. Today, however, the unfairness that we're facing is not from old folks, it's from young people like us, it's from our generation. This is where this is coming from. You know, everything else that is happening today, racism, inequality, everything else, it's our agenda. Like, our generation today is just the way it is. It's just dividing people more and more, you know. And that is something that concerns me a lot. It's something that makes me scratch my head sometimes. Something that makes me lose sleep sometimes. And then you're left to wonder if there's anything you can do to help change the situation. Maybe not. But back to the point. It's really unfair that no one is out there telling young boys how to get out or when to get out, or if they even deserve to get out, or if they even deserve better as human beings. And it's okay to want to play tough. It's okay to want to be the big person in the room. But sometimes we have to remember that Boys and men out there, they are also just human, and they deserve better too. So here's a little bit of advice from my brothers out there. If you're in a place where you feel like you shouldn't be, where you feel like you deserve better, get out. If you're in a place where you're trying and things are not going the way they should, get out. To quote Mia Khalifa, if you feel like you're not getting anything from a commitment and you're trying, you got to go. You got to go. You have to go. Now, I know saying this once in an episode is not going to change anything, but I hope it's a start. I hope everyone who hears this feels like it's a start. There is literally no data that shows boys walking out of a toxic relationship or men walking out of a toxic relationship. There isn't. And that is something that should concern us. That is something as a generation that should raise eyebrows, but it doesn't. Everybody's playing cool. Boys, as long as they have the PlayStation and Xboxes and whatever boys do, he'll be okay. He'll stick around. No, it shouldn't be that way. It should not be that way. But it is. And it's sad. The girls can get to walk out and boys can't. Like, in every relationship, a boy is the villain of the story. And that's just not true, not fair. And it's very, very hypocritical. So I guess the question is, why? Why isn't there anything being done for boys to set themselves free, in a way to say? It's a very interesting question. Why? Like, what's happening out there where there's a boy in a toxic relationship or in a toxic place with a toxic partner and he's not able to speak up or just walk away? Like, how is it so hard? Why is it even so hard? But hey, like I said, it's a very controversial topic. It's a very heavy topic. It's really huge. Like, we feel like we should have an entire different episode for just this. Trying to look at different statistics and balance the scales and see what's happening, what's not happening. It's very huge. But thanks for listening in, everyone. I'm pretty sure this is a cliffhanger. So if we have a next episode on this topic, it's definitely going to be worth it. Thanks for tuning in. I remain your host, Shindy, and stay safe out there. Love one another. Peace.